In this episode of the Quantum Creating Your Reality series, using what quantum physics is teaching us about how we build our reality around us, we're going to be focusing on your living situation and you redesigning your own living situation to be exactly how you want it. So here you are in your life. You are a powerful creator of reality, and you have installed your own beliefs, definitions, and programs, some that you're conscious of, some that you're completely not, about reality that are filtering everything that you instantly create exactly the way you want it. These beliefs and definitions are filtering it so that you build it the way that you believe you can. The way that you've been conditioned to believe that you can receive reality. So reality is streaming from within you, being filtered by your beliefs, and you are building a physical reality experience around you. And this is good news, because this means that all of the beliefs and programs you have installed inside of you you can change and alter so that you can allow yourself to receive bigger, better, more aligned with you things whenever you consciously look at this inner programming. Okay, so here you are in your life and you currently have this topic active in your life, which is your living situation. And however your living situation looks, we'll say this is it. This is it building itself in your life. And you have programs installed inside of you about living situations. Maybe you have these experiences that you've had in your life that have made you define your living situations in a certain way. Maybe you have these beliefs that you've installed about how you can live, and these limiting beliefs that tell you you can't have this, you can't have that, you can only have something to this standard. You have all of these filters that are filtering your living situation and creating it how it is right now, which is exactly how you are creating it. We have the ability to imagine. And when we imagine in a space called the quantum realm. We imagine in a place beyond our limitations and beyond time, beyond space, beyond all of this. And we are free to imagine anything we want in the quantum realm. And when we use this sacred space, this incredible space to create reality, we download the information and we can start to alter all of these things within ourselves. If this is your new house, I'll put a H in it to represent house. If this is your new house and you have been actively focusing on your new house, let me just add also, if you're not actively focusing on how you would prefer your living situation to look, that's why you haven't had your living situation. You have to be putting energy into how you would prefer your living situation to be, because that is the only way that you will ever override what is already being created in your life. You have this current living situation, and this current living situation has built an entire world around you. You know, you have situations that are happening in your life that are in relation to this living situation. You know, you have your neighbors, you have problems that occur because of your living situation, you have who you feel like you are. You know, you spend so much time in your living situation, you have an entire personality now about this living situation. You now make choices in correlation to your living situation. You know, maybe you cycle, you don't take public transport because where you live is a certain way. Like, you have these entire networks that are built around your living situation and an entire personality that is building this personality. And so when you focus on how you want your living situation to be, this will influence how you feel inside of yourself, and this will start to disrupt all of these programs that you have running about your living situation. And how this will look, this will be an inner disruption, which will suddenly change the way you feel. All of these unconscious beliefs you suddenly become conscious of, and you suddenly start to want to act different and feel different. I can feel the energetic difference to me living in this current house, which is still a beautiful house, but there's an energetic difference between me living in this house to me living in a mansion. And I can, if I practice and focused on living in a mansion, the version of me that lived in a mansion, she would feel different. She would make different decisions. There is an energetic difference. So when you put your energy on this outcome in the quantum realm, you actually, the more you focus on it, the more you download the information of it, and the more that you tune your own frequency to be the version of you that lives in that house. Now, what happens is your current programming has all of these networks of things going on in your physical reality. You know, you've got the way that you move about the world, you've got the way that you feel about yourself, you've got all of these problems. You've got just your actual living situation and how that looks for you. All of these programs are running. And what happens when you start to practice the new energy of the new house is, because all of these things are ultimately coming from within you, these things will start to disrupt as well. Maybe you'll have an argument with your housemates. Maybe something in your house will go wrong and make you further enforce that you want to move out of your house. Maybe you will lose your job, and that's the thing that's keeping you tied to living in the area that you're living. Many different ways, whatever is the path of least resistance to start to alter all of these things will start to occur. And this is you shifting from one reality to the next. This is called a quantum leap from your current living situation into your preferred living situation. And this looks like problems occurring in your life, because the energy that the world that is around you, that is relying on the energy of your current state of being, is shifting. And therefore, the world that it is building around you will begin to shift. And because we live in a time-space reality, things have to happen in linear time for us to experience them. And so all of these things, you're going to start having admin about your living situation that you're going to have to address and keep up with. When these things happen, if you can stay conscious in your life to the fact that you have been practicing. And this isn't easy for a lot of people, you know, sometimes you may sit one day and think, I'm going to dream about my new house. And then things start to happen in your world and you kind of forget about the dream about the new house and you just think loads of things are going wrong. And then that further enforces the old belief systems. That further enforces you being exactly the same. But if you can keep practicing the new energy, if you keep downloading it, and if you stay conscious to the fact that you are moving into a new state of being because you are moving into a new reality and you're building a new living situation, and all of these things that are happening inside of you are your limiting beliefs that are beginning to evolve and turn into what will allow the new living situation that you are tuning to come through. Your filters are changing. They are allowing more to come through. They are allowing different things to come through. And that looks like your inner world just editing. And the more that you practice that new vibration, the more that you practice the personality of the version of you that is living in your new house, the more all of these limiting beliefs will start to show themselves to you, will start to come into your awareness for the purpose of being evolved. And that may look like problems in your life, but you have to stay aware of the fact that these problems are coming up for you to evolve them and yourself. So when these problems occur, when the argument with the housemates happen, have the argument, you know, stand your ground. But then when you reflect on the argument, acknowledge, oh, this is because I'm evolving a belief inside of myself. When something goes wrong in your house, acknowledge, you know, have the experience, but then acknowledge, this is showing me something that I believe inside of myself that is limited. What is it? when something else happens, always question, what is this showing me inside of me that I'm supposed to evolve so that I can allow the greater version of my living situation to come into my reality? Because your living situation, this is what we need to understand. Your living situation, how it is now, and you living in the greatest house you can possibly imagine with the greatest living situation that you could possibly design, your idea of perfection, that actually takes the same amount of energy to create. Those two things take the same amount of energy to create. You just have a filtration system that is set to allow a certain thing. And if you alter that filtration system to allow the next thing and keep practicing that vibration, there is no reason why it will not come into your reality. In fact, it is law. That is how we create reality. Become the vibration of it, and it has to show up in a way that's right for you. Your version of that house will come through. One other thing that might come up that I want to address is if you have a belief inside of you that is telling you that you need money for this house, beliefs about needing money to acquire things are actually what hold a lot of people back. Because if you apply your relationship to money, to everything that you want to manifest in your life, that is you limiting yourself. Because if you have however many years of your life conditioning about money, and you have money as the filter that is allowing or disallowing things to show up in your reality, then money can actually create a huge limitation for you. The true definition of abundance is you allowing life to flow through you in correlation to your own vibration, and you doing the work to address your own limitations to become less and less limited, to become more and more unlimited. That is what abundance is. Abundance is allowing energy to stream through you in the exact way that it wants to stream through you, without putting all of these ideas about, I need to manifest the money, I need to manifest the partner, I need to manifest this. Go straight for the bullseye. Go straight for the thing that you want. Get rid of all of these illusions that you need things to come through in particular ways. And when you do that, you allow the energy to stream through you in the best way that's right for you. And that's ultimately how you want it to come through you. I'm going to end on a quick story. So I once had just got back from traveling. I was living in my mum's spare room in her and her boyfriend's house. And I said to my mum, my mum kept saying to me, like, it's been a couple of weeks, what are you going to do? And I kept saying, I'm going to buy a house. And she kept saying, well, because I was working freelance in costume then. And she kept saying, well, you're not going to be able to get a mortgage because you're freelance. You need like 3 years of freelancing to be able to get a mortgage. And I said, I'm not going to need a mortgage. And what I did was one day, just to kind of like take my mind off life, I went shopping and I bought myself a painting. And I had no business buying myself a painting, no business at all. But I bought it anyway, and I put it against the wall in my mum's spare room because I had no business putting paintings on her walls because it wasn't where I was living. And when my mum asked why I bought a painting when I don't really have anywhere to live, where am I going to put this painting? I just said, this is going to go up in my house. A few months later, I bought my first house at the age of 26 without a mortgage. Things just fell into place like magic. My mum was like, I genuinely don't know how you've managed to do this. Like, I don't know many 26-year-olds that can buy a house cash at 26 without a job, without a mortgage. Everything just fell into place. And that painting is now in my bedroom, hanging on my wall. I bought the painting, and every time I looked at the painting, that painting tuned me into the version of me that lived in this house. And by the time, like a couple of months later, like literally not even a year later, I was the version of me. It just made sense that I could now buy a house. And that's how I got my current house that I love, and that's how I got my current house that I love. I just got something that said to the universe, I trust you. I'm not going to control how you're going to bring this thing to me, but I'm prepared. And this object is going to slowly condition me every single day into the version of me that has the thing that I'm asking you for. And then it showed up in the exact way that was right for me. And that's how I manifested my first house. And since then, I've had loads of other different houses. I've bought and sold loads of different houses that have all come to me in the most craziest ways. And I've never really needed money to get them. It's always been some kind of just domino effect of like miracles and these things just falling into place. So when you can just say, I'm going to practice the energy, I'm going to get into the state of being of the house that I want to live in, I'm going to be that person every single day, I'm going to live like it's already true, I'm going to, buy those cushions, start like do a floor plan of how you're going to set your living room up, like start pre-paving the path vibrationally that tells the universe, that keeps putting in the orders, that keeps building the momentum on the thing coming through. And I promise you, this is a simulation. This energy is coming from inside of you. You can have anything you want. Anything you want. The more you practice the vibration of it, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. If you really want something, cut out all of the other stuff in your life. If you're in a situation and you feel like it depletes your energy, cut that situation off. Be really laser focused on giving your energy to parts of reality that infuse you into being the version of you want to be. And that is how you become a master creator in reality. You cut out everything that holds you to old versions of you and keep upgrading, keep practicing your vibration, and life will flow from inside of you the exact way that you are aligned and allowing it to do so. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Lots of love.